Let's revisit our earlier report on the Republican National Convention, and it is day 2. Let's now talk to our correspondent there. Caroline Presutti is a VOA correspondent, and she's now joining us from Milwaukee at the Convention Center. Hi, Caroline. The bar was set high on day 1 of the convention, with Trump picking J.D. Vance as his running mate. And also, the other highlight was Trump's appearance. What do we expect on day 2, and what's the mood on the ground?
You're absolutely right that yesterday took the cake, right? We not only had a vice presidential choice that was finally announced after all this time, but we also had President Trump making his first appearance since the attempted assassination. So today, amazingly, none of us has the schedule yet. But I can tell you that instead of 2 sessions, we're only going to have 1 session here at the Convention Center, and that's going to start in about 3 hours from now, 3 or 4. The highlight of tonight that we have heard is Nikki Haley. You'll remember she was a competitor for Trump. She was running against him in the Republican primary. They both said nasty things against each other, if we can use that term. And now they're kind of buddying up, although it did take the South Carolina former governor a bit longer to become a supporter of Trump. Just last week, she turned over all of her delegates and said they are free to put their support behind Trump and they can vote for Trump. So that was a big move for Nikki Haley to do. And that is when she got invited here to the convention to speak before the 2,500 delegates. So that is on the order for tonight. And can I mention one more thing, Eric? The theme of today is Make America Safe Again. You've probably already heard.
Change again.
Right. Yeah, it was always Make America Great Again, but tonight safe, because in light of what happened on Saturday, they say this isn't just safety here, but it is safety nationwide, because one of the tenets of the Republican Party is that crime is up in America. Mm-hmm. So that will serve both purposes, not only safety for everyone here at the convention, including Trump himself, but also safety from coast to coast in the United States.
Caroline, there's a lot of chatter about a changed Trump. You are on ground. Did you see that or sense some difference with Trump, especially his demeanor?
Right. Good point. I mean, we saw him, we were in the convention hall, right, when he walked out, and he hadn't even appeared to the delegates yet. He was actually in the hallway when he was shown in the Jumbotron. And you're right, it was a very different Trump. He wasn't as maybe bombastic as we're used to. He wasn't as energetic. He didn't raise his fist like he did after the assassination attempt. He seemed much more humble as he walked in, very appreciative of all the clapping and the cheering. And then he sat down during most of the other speeches. We did not hear from Trump last night. Mm-hmm. So he seemed a bit more subdued than normally. But then again, if you consider, you know, he came very close to being killed. So that can change a person. And you know, it was an assassination attempt. So there was someone out there that definitely wanted to kill him. Right. So we'll see how that impacts his speech on Thursday night. That's when he will accept the official nomination of this party and become the official Republican nominee for president. He says he has changed his speech to be one more of unity, not only here in this country, but globally. Mm-hmm. So that's how Saturday will have changed him for sure in what he says to all these delegates.
Yeah, we'll indeed wait for him to hear what he says actually on Thursday, because Trump and Biden are speaking on similar terms, because they're saying they want to unify America. And that being said, one of the sentiments at the convention was Republicans are winning it, plain and simple. Caroline, is that a fair assessment, or is it too early to assume that?
Well, okay, let's go back. What happens after every convention, right? It doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican, that candidate is going to get a boost in the polls, because all the news is about that candidate, and these delegates are going to be energized to go door to door, to go to rallies to support their candidate, right? Same thing's going to happen when it's the Democratic convention in Chicago in August. Mm-hmm. Then President Biden is going to get a bump up in the polls, right? So immediately afterward, it's totally normal to get a bump up in the polls. You talk to these delegates and they'll tell you, yes, they're going to win. They're not going to deny that. And they say that they are even more determined after what happened Saturday. So Talk to any person that walks in there that's on the floor of the convention hall, and they'll say, absolutely, no question in my mind, we're going to win. So it depends on who you talk to.
All right, live in Milwaukee, that is Caroline Presutti, who's a VOA correspondent. Caroline, stay safe. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Eric.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.